steam and smoke just bellowing out of the bottom of Eli Tomac's bike. Welcome to the Weege Show. Coming to you from Nissan Stadium. I got to announce in the building today, so we're going to give you super duper behind the scenes. Although the real emotion came in our 250 class, where Hunter Lawrence won the race and the championship, and 2 out of 3 now won by Chase Sexton in the 450 division. And this is hard earned. He actually ran Tomac down. I'm wondering if Tomac might have had an issue with the motorcycle here with all that coolant coming out. Justin Hill, what a ride. Top 5 for Justin Hill. Finally got a start. First time we've really seen him up front this year. And with that, he delivered. Hillbros just living in the Hillbros world with a double top 10s again. Good job by Justin, yeah. Top 5, led some laps. Sheesh. Well, not led laps, he was second behind Tomac. Best non-Tomac early on in that one. So this is what the scene is like down here at Supercross. Hi, I'm Jason Weigandt. This is all brought to you by Racetech and the Gold Valves. You know your suspension will be plusher, better bottom resistance, more traction, made and engineered in the USA. It's a giant dump of coolant. This is like old school Eli here with the clutch, sometimes overheating the bike. Nice little bike download here between the teammates, Roxon and Chiz. Roxon will end up 3rd. But here's what we have to talk about today. They can't all be winners when it comes to fantastic racing, and unfortunately, championship battles down to the end. Because the real story of today, it's a day race here at Nashville, is symbolically Cooper Webb in this corner down here at the end of the whoops, all the way down to the end. Cooper Webb and Tomac on the first lap of heat race, battling it out for the #1 spot. Webb goes down. I don't think you could blame anybody for that. I think he just ran in a broom. I don't think Tomac knocked him down or anything. Webb got down. It wasn't a big crash, just at a corner, but then he got run over or clipped by Adam Cianciarulo. Again, not Cianciarulo's fault. First lap, no room, no time. And that was it. Last I've seen Cooper Webb, he was coming out of the stadium on the back of the Alpine Stars mobile medic cart. They were holding his neck and holding his helmet up for him, I think supporting his neck essentially. And he looked to be in huge pain. He did not come back for the LCQ. And that means suddenly he's 30-some points behind with 2 races to go. So that might essentially do it. It might even do it. I don't know if Webb's even going to race next weekend. I don't want to speculate on that. But as far as the math goes, this thing changed in a hurry. It's only 5 points between Webb and Tomac just 8 days ago. And now you got to look at but Tomac has landed a huge lead, and then you thought, well, it's going to be no problem. He's just going to win the race, and then honestly have a shot at wrapping it up early next week at his home state race in Nashville. But then this dude, Chase Sexton, bro, tracked Tomac down, passed him, got away, and now Sexton is looking at 2 out of 3. Now look, Sexton put himself in this position, this deficit of points, far too many crashes while leading. But if you're Sexton, you're looking back now at the battle with Barsha last week in the mud. He got knocked down. That allowed Tomac to finish ahead of him in a mud race. Look, you don't want to ever have to count on a good finish in a mud race to win a title, but still I bet Sexton's saying, oh, I won 2 out of the last 3. I finally figured this thing out. Might be too little too late for him. We'll have to find out. They're going to talk to Tomac in a moment. We'll see what he says. Again, that bike was just puking coolant. And we'll see what Eli has to say about that. I'll be right back. Well, that's a wrap here from the stadium. Yeah, Eli just said he had that whole section dragging back to whoops, and hope Justin Barch is okay because he went over the falls. I mean, classic endo right over there, and the dragging back to whoop. Not just dragging back double off into whoops, and it claimed Barsha, and that was the end of his run. He'd had a really good run going, of course, winning last week and with some podiums. But beyond that, Tomac said he got sideways there as well, and then he decided to back it way down. And that obviously made a big difference in allowing Sexton to come through. And then as far as the bike puking coolant, Eli's like, well, I'm notorious for using the clutch a lot, and that section requires a lot of clutch. He's still a guy that uses clutch through whoops and dragging back. A lot of riders don't. And by the end of that section, that bike was smoking. It's time to celebrate. There's Jelly, the mechanic for Eli, getting blasted. And there's Ken Roxon, his mechanic souls. Kickstar Kenny with 3 podiums in a row. 3 podiums in a row, Larry. I mean, it's come a long way from where they were at the beginning of the season, or even before the season, where we didn't even know what Roxon's status would be. Pretty awesome. Oh, this guy's gonna do a report on what the track's like. It's what we call cupped out, everybody. This was nice and fresh when the day began. Cupped is correct, yes. Now they've got mini ramps in each jump. It's funny, I actually went down to, before the the end of the final qualifying session for 250s. Sexton was walking off the track. I think it was Max Miller coming down for his B session, and Sexton's like, watch the last jump on this dragon back. It has a kicker in it. And that's ultimately what claimed Barsha. That's ultimately what made Tomac think twice about going for it and pinning it in the lead. But most importantly, our thoughts with Cooper Webb. I hope he's okay. The statement that you probably saw on Peacock tonight was just that we are devastated as a team, and our first concerns are for the safety of the riders. So no actual medical update on Webb, who went to the hospital. And you know, this goes way beyond championship points. You just hate seeing riders get hurt, especially if they get hurt bad. So hopefully Coop's relatively okay. On happier news, the Lawrence brothers takeover continues. Hunter Lawrence now has got himself a title. It was super emotional down here with his brother Jet. And then the entire group, everyone from Honda, of course the Lawrence family, and Red Bull, and everyone involved. Lucas Bertel, the agent, just... I think the thing, and I mentioned this on the pre-show, I think the thing that gets lost all the time with the Lawrence brothers is they've had so much success recently that we start to forget how difficult it was to get here. I remember when Hunter was having problems just staying healthy and even getting to the racetrack. He kept telling me that his dad, Dazzy, would tell him all the time, there's the way and there's the Lawrence way. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough, that's our way. But they are forged from that fire, and now Hunter Lawrence has become really a dominant 250 rider. We're not sure what his status is for next year. Will he be 450 Supercross? We know certainly Jet will be. Probably rather watch this behind the scenes stuff than me. But Hunter telling me yesterday that he was done. He was going to retire after he got hurt at Loretta's in 2020 after about 2.5 years of injuries, and then all the time in Europe and all that. Just got to congratulate those guys on never giving up, because I mean, the Lawrences are going to be a gift to this sport going forward. They're great personalities, they're great riders. You can just salivate if you know, Jet versus Tomac in the summer and Pro Motocross. Jet and maybe Hunter on a 450 next year, what that's going to do for this 450 field and how much more exciting the racing could be. So shout out to that whole group for grinding, persevering, way off the radar, like way off the radar. No one, when you go to Loretta's and all these big amateur races and all these things, the old Monster Cup, which had amateur racing, you know, no one was thinking about the Lawrence brothers except for the agent, Lucas Bertel, who discovered them, got him connected, and they're going to do great things for the sport. And it was really cool to see Hunter. Look, there's probably more great things for him ahead, but he soaked up this moment like he should. There were tears, there were hugs. It was awesome. And Honda sweeps again. By the way, both classes. Well, that's what it looks like behind the scenes down here, and that's going to do it for the Weege show. There's Chase Sexton's dad celebrating 2 out of the last 3 wins. Just a little insider. I'm going to go to a press conference. I thank Feld for letting me announce these races this year. It was a really good time. And thanks for watching the Weege show. See you next week in Denver. My kid's racing the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge. That should be a disaster. Luckily, I'm not the mechanic. Weege show! Thanks, everybody.